Leveling up extreme business growth through raising your game. When what was once extraordinary becomes ordinary, you know you've leveled up.
Hello and welcome to the Leveling Up Podcast with me, George Swift. The Leveling Up Podcast is here to give you the personal development, the entrepreneurial development and the business growth that you, the ambitious business owner, desires. I'm here to give you the inspiration, the motivation, but above all else, to challenge your aspirations to take you and your business to the next level. Don't forget to subscribe and never miss an episode. And today's episode is part 2 of Get Six Figure Ready. It's a theme I'm running all week this week. We started on Monday by looking at your business and asking the question, is your business six-figure ready? Can your business give you 100K in revenue? And if not, maybe what you might need to do about it. If you want to hit 100 grand in your business, there's 2 things that need to be 100 grand ready. Number 1, your business needs to be able to give you £100,000 in revenue minimum. If you go back and listen to Monday's episode, I talk about how you need more like 150 grand model in order to truly achieve 100 grand turnover in a year. The second thing is you need to be built for 100K. You need to have the right mindset and the right attitude. You need to perceive your business in a certain way, yourself in a certain way, the confidence, the self-esteem, the self-assuredness, the focus. You need all these things in place in you, the business owner, in order to maximize what your business has on offer. So let's assume that your business is 100K ready. You can do 6 figures in the next 12 months. If you're not there, if you're not at least on an equal level with your business or ahead of your business, even if your business can do 100K this year, you probably almost certainly won't. So if you want to go and check out if your business is built for 6 figures, if your business is built for 100K, make sure you go and listen to Monday's episode. That's episode number 82. Go and listen to that either now, straight away, or certainly at the end of this episode. If you did listen to Monday's episode, then you will know now whether or not your business can hit 100K. And I gave you a couple of tips on what you might need to do if it can't. If you want to download the worksheet that accompanies today's episode, you can find it on our website. I'll put the link in the descriptions to this episode, and it enables you to just download the framework of the conversation that you and I are going to be having over the next 20 minutes. And it enables you to fill out that worksheet. And again, it gives you some pointers as to where you might need to focus your attentions on you in 2020 to make sure that you are not the limiting factor in your business's ability to hit 100K or more. As I said on Monday, if you're already doing 100 grand or more, then just apply today's content to where you are relative in your own business journey. However, I'm going to keep referring to 100K just because it's our theme. So let's get stuck in. Once again, you can download the sheet that accompanies this episode. If you go to the descriptions, you'll see the link there. Okay, so I need you to rate yourself. If you're working off the worksheet, then you'll see there's a whole load of boxes for you to complete. If you're doing this just in your head, then do it the best you can. However, I'm telling you now, you're going to get the most out of this if you treat it like a workshop episode and have some, at the very least, a pen and paper in your hand so you can make some notes. That's how you're going to get the best out of today. However, even if you are driving at the gym or just walking the dog, you're still going to get the conceptual overview of today's content. And you might want to then go and download this worksheet and then do it fully when you get back home or when you have a few moments to yourself in the office. Okay, so the first thing I want you to look at is you're going to mark yourself out of 10 for each of the following categories. Now, I'm going to share with you what the category is and to help you score yourself objectively so that you can see where your biggest gaps are and ultimately whether or not you've got it in you right now to hit 100K. Also, as I keep saying, even if it's not about 100K for you this year, you'll see whether or not you've got the right attributes in you, whether you're set up for achieving business success. For over 20 years, I've been helping people on personal performance. Well over 20 years, I've been helping people overcome their own limiting behaviors, their own limited mindsets. For the last 10 years, I've been working exclusively with business owners. And for nearly 8 years now, I've been working through Success Groups and our Extreme Growth Masterminds with business owners and entrepreneurs that are looking for extreme growth in their businesses. I've personally mentored well over 400 businesses now. So there's certain traits and characteristics that I've noticed are more likely to create a successful entrepreneur than others. Okay, and that's what we're going to go through here. There's 10 of them, and we're going to go through each one in turn. But each one of these has been proven, tried and tested in the field over my own personal career in business, but also in my own education and understanding and learning about human performance and personal behavior. But also it's shown itself over and over again with the hundreds of business owners that I've personally worked with to help them create business success. Therefore, you're probably going to want to listen. Number one, do you truly believe that you can and will reach 100K turnover? I could caveat that by also adding this year. Do you truly believe that you can and will achieve 100K turnover? Number one, you could ask, period. Do you believe you're capable and will achieve 100 grand at some point? But then we could also caveat by saying, you know what, if you want to hit 100 grand this year, and a big part of what I'm about in business is helping business owners just like you achieve that exact result. If you want to hit 100K this year, do you believe, truly believe that you can and will achieve 100K this year? If you don't believe that you can, then you won't, right? It's really simple. We could do a whole podcast on that alone. But fundamentally, if you've listened to my podcast in the past, I talk a lot about mindset, and I talk about how what we perceive, what we believe, what we think, and how we feel translates into our behaviors, our actions, our approaches, and therefore, of course, dictates our results. So you want to score yourself out of 10. The truth is, though, you might be a little bit subjective, okay? You might let yourself off the hook a little bit, or you might be unduly unfair with yourself. So I want to give you the scale. 0 out of 10 is that you have absolutely no belief whatsoever in your abilities, let alone the actuality of achieving 100K. Certainly not this year. 10 out of 10 is an absolute, honest, authentic, and truthful total belief in yourself and your ability to create 100 grand turnover this year. So using that as a scale, mark yourself between 0 and 10. 0, absolutely zero belief in your ability to achieve 100K. 10 out of 10, unquestionable. And it has to be authentic and honest. Don't bullshit yourself. Don't give yourself all the big one and blag it and, pretend to yourself and, all that kind of crap that you can do it. Be honest with yourself. Look inside yourself. 10 out of 10 would be a total and utter self-belief in it, a total and utter confidence that you will achieve 100K this year. Mark yourself on that scale. Doesn't matter whether it's 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just mark yourself out of 10. And then we'll move on to category 2, which is, do you have a crystal clear vision for your business? So do you have an absolute crystal clear vision? Do you have complete clarity about your business, where it's going, where it's heading, and what it is that you and it are going to achieve together? And specifically, we want to be thinking the 100K plus. Do you have a crystal clear vision for your business achieving 100K plus? No, you have absolutely no idea, absolutely no vision, no concept of what that is at all. 10 out of 10, crystal clear vision, absolute crystal clear vision of your business, of yourself, and where it will be and what it will look like and how it will achieve 100K or more. Mark yourself out of 10. Be honest with yourself, truthful with yourself. If you are, you'll get the most out of today's episode. Number 3, do you routinely, systematically, and methodically set and achieve goals? Do you set your goals out every year, every month, every week, perhaps even every single day? Do you do it systematically? Do you do it methodically? Do you follow a process? Do you follow a system for achieving goals in your life? And do you actually achieve them? So ask yourself, where do you sit between 0 and 10? 0 is you do not set any goals and therefore you can't possibly achieve any goals because you have absolutely no idea of what it is you're even trying to achieve. 10 out of 10 is you follow a methodical process for setting out goals, laying out goals, and then following through, and you achieve on them every single time, 100% of the time. That would be 10 out of 10. So go ahead and score yourself between 0 and 10. So last week, we did a whole week focused on goal setting. If you didn't listen to last week's episodes, I highly recommend that you do, because before you set out on 2020, you want to make sure that you're absolutely crystal clear on what it is that you want to achieve. And I help you do that through last week's episodes. Every session last week, I also offered you the opportunity to download my goal setting methodology. So in Success Groups and Extreme Growth Masterminds, every single member sits through, it's a 10-hour audio program. It's unapologetically intense. And every single member spends about 20 hours minimum setting their goals for the year ahead. What I've done is I've compressed and condensed that methodology into a booklet that I made available to you in last week's episodes. So go back and check that out. Go and download that. If you want to skip straight to the download, you'll find it at biggerbrighterbolder.co.uk/goal setting guide. As always, I'll drop that link in the descriptions as well. If you scored low on this, even if you scored 5, 6, or 7, even maybe 8 on this, you might want to just review your goals for 2020. Follow my tried and trusted, well and truly tested process for helping people achieve on their goals. In Success Groups, we achieved over 20,000 goals between us. Over 20,000 short-term, medium-term, long-term, lifetime goals last year. If you want to set yourself up for success, you absolutely need to be setting goals. You need to set the right goals, and you need to methodically approach your goal setting in a tried and tested, proven, methodical way. So go and download that if you didn't do it already last week. Go and listen to those episodes. You'll definitely improve your score here if you do that. Okay, number 4, you hold yourself or have others hold you accountable. In fact, I want to go one step further. Even if you hold yourself accountable, you can't possibly score yourself 10 out of 10. For 10 out of 10, you need to hold yourself truly accountable to your goals and to the actions and behaviors that achieve those goals, but you must also have external people holding you accountable to the achievement of your goals. So that would be 10 out of 10. 0 out of 10, you let yourself off the hook all day long. You don't really hold yourself accountable, and you certainly are not willing or open to allowing people external to you hold you accountable to those goals. And even if you do kind of let people hold you accountable, it doesn't mean anything to you anyway, because let's be honest, who cares? You're not going to probably do it anyway. That would be 0 out of 10. Score yourself between 0 and 10. In last week's episodes, I shared the findings of the American Institute of Education and something or other, I can't remember its exact title, around the achievement of goal setting. And what they showed was that the magic pill in goal achievement is in accountability and in commitment. So I did a whole session looking at commitment and accountability to your goals in last week's episodes. It's a fundamental part of success. You have to set your goals right, but then you have to commit to those goals. You have to then commit publicly, or at least to external people, to those goals. And you have to be willing for those people to hold you accountable to achieving those goals. So number 4 was, do you hold yourself and have other people holding you accountable to your goals? 0 to 10. Number 5, do you plan and do you create plans for the year, the quarter, and the month? Perhaps even the week, and you might even do day plans as well. Planning. Do you methodically, systematically plan to achieve your results and the goals that you set out for yourself in business? 0 to 10. 0 is you might not even know what the hell a good plan is. You might not know how to plan, and you certainly do not have any plans in your business. You're winging it day by day, week by week. You're just bumbling along, not really following any kind of route or path. 10 out of 10, you have crystal clear plans, well thought through plans that take you from where you are now to achieving your year goals, your quarter goals. You break those down into each month. So you have a plan of action for each month. You'll also do that for each week, and every single day you'll plan out what it is that you need to do, what you need to achieve today. That would be 10 out of 10. Mark yourself out of 0 to 10 on that one. And then let's move on to number 6. Are you laser focused and super disciplined? So do you hold your focus on your prize, on your goal, on your vision for what it is you're trying to achieve? Whether it's the day, the week, the month, looking at your longer term plans for this year, and even potentially beyond that to where you see yourself in your business in many years in the future. Score yourself between 0 and 10. 0, you are easily distracted. You find it very hard to focus. You're constantly being pulled onto other people's agendas. You have very little self-discipline. You find it very hard to stick to what you need to be doing, what you should be doing, and what you know you need to be doing and should be doing in order to achieve your goals. 10 out of 10, you are laser focused and you are like a drill sergeant disciplined. Nothing gets in the way of what you know you need to do in order to move today forward. So you hit this week, and then this week forward to hit the month, and then move the month forward so you're on track for the quarter, the year, and beyond. Score yourself between 0 and 10. In episode 72, I talked about the importance of having a cast iron agenda. So if you want to learn a little bit more about how you can have a cast iron agenda, which is what you absolutely need to have in place in order to be laser focused and to have that incredible discipline, then go and listen to episode 72 after this at some point, full of awesome content around the importance of being laser focused on your own agenda. For now though, mark yourself between 0 and 10. And then together we'll move on to number 7, which is, do you freely outsource and delegate jobs to other people? So 0 would be, you have to do everything yourself. You're doing absolutely every menial task in your business, maybe even in your home life as well. You don't trust anybody to do the job properly. You don't trust anybody to do it as well as you. Maybe you think you can't afford it. Maybe you think it's too expensive. But for whatever reason, 0 out of 10 means that you delegate nothing to anybody else and you don't outsource anything to anybody else. You do every single job, no matter how big, how small, you do it yourself. Number 10 is you freely outsource and delegate jobs to other people in an intelligent, systematic way. You strategize on what's the best use of your time. You outsource the stuff to free up your time so that you can put your time and energy into the things that get you the biggest rewards in your business. You're more than open to trust other people to do a job. And even if they don't do it perfectly, you're happy that the job's getting done to a high enough degree to free you up so that you can focus on the things that really matter and the things that are going to really deliver the growth and the results in your business. If you do that, 10 out of 10. If you're doing absolutely everything yourself, don't trust anybody, have no intentions of ever letting anybody into your business to help you, support you, to take any of that workload off of you, you're going to score 0 out of 10. Be completely honest. No one's checking your homework. You haven't got to own up to it to anybody. Just be completely honest with yourself, because if you're not going to get a lot out of today. And if you are, there's a huge opportunity here for you to level up in 2020. Category 8, number 8. Are you highly motivated? Are you a self-starter? And do you complete on things? So are you highly motivated? Are you a self-starter? And are you a completer? Are you a finisher? Score yourself between 0 and 10. 0, you're very much not motivated. You're almost incapable of getting going on your own without someone nagging you, pestering you, or without something else holding you accountable to have to do anything. And rarely, if ever, do you finish anything. That would be 0 out of 10. 10 out of 10, you're highly motivated, all if not the majority of the time. You're a self-starter. You don't need anybody else to tell you what to do. You wake up, you know what you need to do, you get started, you have a project, you have a focus. It doesn't need anybody else around you. You just get up and you get going and you keep going and you complete on everything. You finish everything. You say what you're going to do and then you do it regardless. That would be a highly motivated self-starter, completer, finisher. Score yourself between 0 and 10. Be completely honest, as always. And then number 10. Are you positive? Are you optimistic? Are you passionate in all that you do? Are you positive, optimistic, and passionate in all that you do? 0 out of 10, you're a negative person, you're pessimistic, and you have no passion, you have no love for what you're involved in, what you're engaged in. 10 out of 10, you're upbeat, you're positive all the time, you're completely optimistic, even if not especially when things are going against you, and you're completely and utterly passionate in what you're doing, where you're going, what you're achieving, who you're doing it for, who you're doing it alongside. You're completely and utterly engaged in the process of your business and the results that you're working towards. Score yourself between 0 and 10. And then that's the last category we're looking at. You then take all of those numbers, you add them up, and it gives you your score out of 100. Now, if you're doing this in the car, if you're doing this walking the dog or down the gym, you probably didn't necessarily keep a record of your scoring. What you did was just try and hold it in your head. If you did that, then just be mindful of the areas where you were at your weakest. But also, I would encourage you, if you haven't done it already, go and download the worksheet that accompanies this episode. You'll find the link to it in the descriptions of this episode. Go and download that worksheet, print it off, and then it has a whole record for you. It'll go over all the questions I've just asked you, and it gives you a box to put your numbers in, and it also gives you what I'm about to run through now, which is what do those results mean to you and the likelihood of you creating a 100 grand business in the next 12 months, okay? So if you're doing this in your head, if you're doing this on the go, I do encourage you to go and download that worksheet. Even if you're doing this with a pen and paper in your hand, I still encourage you to download the worksheet, have it in front of you, because what I want to invite you to do is to make some changes to some of these areas, some of these categories in your life, and then to come back and remark yourself, maybe in a month's time, maybe in a couple of months, maybe even like 6 months' time. Come back, look at it, rescore yourself, and see how you're doing. See if you're making progress. So even if you're writing this out, I definitely encourage you to go and download this worksheet. I'll put the link in the description so you've got free access to it. So what is your score out of 100 and what does that mean for you? Okay, so 0 to 50. If you score between 0 and 50 out of the 10 categories, then I'm very sad to say the chances of you hitting 100K or whatever you might consider to be a stretch goal or success in this year is really quite unlikely. You've got a long way to go in yourself. There's a lot of self-improvement, personal development that you need to do in order to get yourself 100K ready or even success ready. The good news is, however, you can develop yourself. You can improve all these areas of yourself so you can actually start to stretch the possibility of what you can achieve in business, and let's face it, in life as a whole. Just because you scored 25, 30, 40, maybe even scored like 15 or even lower, you absolutely can bring in these things systematically. You can follow processes. You can go and get my goal setting, for example, right now. You can go and listen to some of the episodes around agenda. You can go and look at what is it that you need to do in order to get you ready to hit 100K or to get you ready to have business success. 50 to 65. If you scored between 50 and 65, then you definitely have some good stuff in place. You have some positive habits. You're probably doing better, believe it or not, than most people. However, whilst you might have an increased likelihood of achieving success this year, the chances of you truly achieving what it is that you want to achieve are very unlikely. You definitely have some big gaps in your game, and you're going to want to plug those gaps moving forward so that you can level yourself up so you're able to level your business up. If you score between 65 and 80, the chances are you're pretty positive. The chances are you work pretty hard. You probably have some, successful habits. You probably do some goal setting. However, you still have some big gaps in your game that if you plug them would serve you to help you keep operating at an even higher level. You're doing all right, you're doing better than most, but there's still room for improvement. And the improvement you make in those areas that are weakest in you right now will have a profound impact on your ability to create success in 2020. If you score between 80 and 90, you're in actually really decent shape. You're definitely in the top percentages of business owners. Most people do not set goals. Most people are not that positive or optimistic. Most people aren't even that passionate. Most people certainly don't get held accountable, and most don't have crystal clear visions. So if you've got most of that stuff in place to a high level, you're in really good shape, and the chances are that you will have decent success this year and you're built for ongoing success. However, there are still some gaps in your game, and you might find that it's, a percentage or two on each of these categories, or you might find there's one category or two categories that are really holding you back. So if you've got a category or two that are scoring really low here for you, you will have massive improvements by addressing those gaps in your game. If you score between 90 to 100, well done. You are absolutely on track for achieving great success in life. You're obviously optimistic. You're obviously positive. You're probably a great leader in the making if you aren't already. People will be magnetized to you, be drawn to you. You will be creating success already. There's a lot more success out there waiting for you. You want to make sure that you continue to maximize on each of these 10 areas, just to make sure that you maintain this high score. If you're getting 90, 91, 92, you can still get so much more by achieving 97, 98, 99. So don't just sit on your laurels just because you're doing it early 90s. Keep working, keep perfecting these 10 areas. Keep making them work increasingly better for you. Keep showing up to them. If you drop the ball even slightly, make sure that you keep picking that ball up and keep driving forward with these 10 fundamentals. Because you're in great shape right now, I want you to maintain that great shape. If you do, you are absolutely built for success. So how did you do? Even if you scored high, 80s or even 90s, you definitely still want to move these things forward. If you scored low, in 50% or under, then still, don't give up on yourself. Don't believe that, somehow you're this person and you're a loser and all that. You're not. I promise you, for whatever reason, you just haven't learned either how to do it or you haven't learned to do it. Once you acknowledge the importance of making sure that you show up to these 10 fundamentals to success in you, then you can start laying out goals. You can start laying out a plan to improve these areas of your life. Don't try and go from 40% to 100% overnight. Just keep improving all these areas, starting with the ones that are causing you the most pain. They might be the ones you don't want to address. They might be the ones that feel like the hardest to address. But the lowest scores here are the ones that are probably causing you the most damage. And therefore, you've got the most to gain by addressing those first. One of the ways that you can continually address the gaps in your business and the gaps in yourself is to make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Of course, that's what this podcast is all about. It's about leveling you up as a business owner so that you can level your business up, so that you can have the business success and the personal success that you want to have out of life. I've also got a load of resources available to you. I've got the downloads for this episode. I've got the downloads for Monday's episode. I've already talked to you about the download that you've got for the goal setting. So if your goal setting's weak, definitely go and download that. Again, I'll put the link in the descriptions below this episode. One thing you can definitely do, by the way, also, if you are absolutely hell-bent on achieving 100K in 2020, then go and listen to my 6-figure fast track masterclass. If you haven't done that yet, you absolutely want to get yourself on it. It's the 6-figure fast track, how to take your 5-figure service-based business to 100K or more in the next 12 months or less. It's a masterclass. It's waiting for you. It's completely free of charge. It's been specifically designed with the service-based business owner in mind. And I take you through mindset, I take you through business modeling, and I take you through methodology. So in other words, do you have a 6-figure mindset? Well, you'll know now based on the results of this worksheet. Do you have a 6-figure model? Well, you'll know now, given Monday's episode, assuming you did it. If not, you can go and do that. You'll know whether or not you have a 6-figure business model. And more importantly, once you've got those things in place, do you have a 6-figure methodology in place? In other words, are you focused on the right activities day to day to get you and your business to 100K or more? If you haven't yet done the 6-figure fast track, it's waiting for you completely free of charge. You can go and get access to that right now immediately at biggerbrighterbolder.co.uk/fast track. Again, I'll put the link in the descriptions of this episode. Get yourself and your business on the 6-figure fast track if you haven't done so already. No matter where you are in yourself, no matter where you are in business, you can always improve yourself and your business. In fact, it's absolutely essential that you continue to level up yourself as a business owner, that you continue to level your business up. As I said right at the beginning of Monday's episode, you have to walk the 2 paths. You have to take on the 2 journeys. It's the internal path, the internal journey, overcoming your self-imposed limitations, overcoming your own blocks and barriers to success, improving yourself as an individual, improving your personal performance, improving your entrepreneurism. You also have to improve your business skills. You also have to improve your marketing, your sales abilities. You have to improve your planning and your goal setting strategies and methodologies, your hiring, your recruiting, your team building, and leadership skills. And you have to do both of these things in conjunction with one another. If you just keep growing the business without looking at yourself, eventually, if not quickly, you're going to become the limiting factor in your business growth. If you do the work on yourself and improve yourself, many things are going to improve in your life probably quite quickly. However, if you don't continually put the energy and the effort into growing the business and doing the things in business that you need to do to create success, whilst you'll be happier, you'll potentially be more fulfilled, more positive, you, however, will not be more successful. You've got to do the right things and you have to be the right person. Step up and be the business owner that your business needs you to be, and then create the business you need your business to be so you can have the success that you want to have. I hope you enjoyed today's session. If you haven't done Mondays, go and do Mondays. If you want to go and do the goal setting stuff, go and check out the goal setting stuff. If you want to go and start doing your goal setting, go and make sure you do that download. Tons of stuff on offer for you at the beginning of 2020 to really kickstart your journey, kickstart your progress in 2020 the best I possibly can for you. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to this episode. I really respect and appreciate that you've given me your attention for these past 35 minutes. As always, I try and repay that by giving you as much value, as much content, and as much inspiration and education as I possibly can given this format. That's my commitment to you in the remainder of 2020. You follow me, you listen to me, and I will reward you with everything I possibly can to help you become successful. I look forward to seeing you on Friday when we wrap up this week's theme of getting six-figure ready. Look forward to seeing you on that episode. Until then, as always, be successful.
Leveling up extreme business growth through raising your game. When what was once extraordinary becomes ordinary, you know you've leveled up.